Hey, it's me. Hi. Man, 2 seconds before I started streaming, I started yawning my head off. I almost went live early too. But I didn't. Welcome everybody. Welcome. Happy Saturday. Glad everybody can come in and
what are you waiting for?
hang out.
Christmas?
I just want to make sure my audio is fine. To another fantastic day of streaming with some Duke Nukem 3D user maps, some Mapster 32 level editing, working on some cool stuff today. I think not going to be a super long stream, I imagine, today, because I have somewhere I have to go before they close, and they close relatively early here. So
What are you waiting for?
we're going to at least do one user map, which is the featured map today, Duke Nukem Mirrors Yellow, and we're going to work on a little bit of our time to kill total conversion. I was doing some tests actually on it, so I'm going to flip over to that screen just to show you and do kind of like a little introduction to people new to the channel who don't know much about what we do here. Happy New Year, Music Monster. Hello, Jorts. Pizza. Still don't know what that face is, that strange little emoticon, but I appreciate the emote.
Come on.
Thanks for playing the map, which I'm not out of town, so I won't be able to join in streaming. I'm watching a video later today. Cheers. Well, thanks for stopping by, and thanks for watching later on. Looks like it's going to be fun. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Glad to show it off. I got to wonder why my OBS isn't switching to things, so give me a second. There we go. Jumping in. Helps if I unblock it. So this is our little time to kill map we're working on, and I'm playing around with some lighting, just finishing up some lighting here. I was going to start working on the little secret area, so we might work on this afterwards, because right now it's been a little janky, a little broken from when we first dabbled with it a little bit. But I'm just finalizing some lighting here and figuring out how I'm going to merge the lighting here and I want it to be. And I was thinking of a Corona effect to sell these as like little lampposts better. Either that or maybe I'll revisit and do a different sprite entirely. Maybe combine some stuff. Not sure. But right now I was trying to see how quick could I get to the solution I want. And my solution is just something like this. Maybe a different palette. Nobody's ever found it. Now there's going to be a hunt for it. And I do want to add the lighting from these windows will be open. One of these two that connects to the secret. So we'll have the little window here, I think. Thank you so much. It's been a fun little journey trying to recreate a PS1 level. I'm actually, I am really happy with the detail we're getting out of it, considering I'm not really being geometry heavy. I'm using a lot of walls though, because I have to break things up to make the sprites and stuff, or break up our default stock assets to get what I want. But not what I thought I was gonna do originally. I gotta do another one of these. There's another one of these here that we put on there, and then we have to figure out the enemy placement. But at least today, I think something got messed up here too. I feel like there's a bunch more of these. Anyways, yeah, a lot of lighting stuff we're doing here. Maybe some mood lighting. I want to play through this maybe full like widescreen as well to see how much of this stuff's gonna break when we go out of view. Otherwise, I was thinking about some changes we have to make here, because again, in the PlayStation 1 original, we're trying to get as close to that version as we can. But one of the issues I'm really running into is if I open up the PS1 game, I won't rate the second, but it's very much just like light comes from nothing. It's just a mash of colors, like a psychedelic dream almost. And that's kind of where the lighting comes from. Very rarely is the light coming from an actual source. So even though they have things like lampposts and things like that, that's not where the lighting is coming from. But it would look... I could do it. I think that would be something polymer. Whatever the one that World Tour does. If we just threw that in there and just put a bunch of random weird light sources, we could make it more like the PS1. But in this case, I think we have to do some changes, which is why I've actually been putting the lighting where the actual light sources is. But it also means once we get into this subway, there's no lights at all in the actual original. And again, we could just make it brighter, but I'm thinking we'll cut some stuff off here and put some lighting. And then it starts to become a question as like this in the PS1 original, there's 2 train tracks here. And it doesn't make any sense why there's like a train track that goes straight into this wall and straight into this wall. So out of the sake to keep it close to the original, we're probably still going to do that. But the only difference is I might have a little connective bit where it splits in. Can you do that? I haven't even bothered to learn or figure out polymer at all because I just figured nobody really uses it. But in this specific situation, when I was doing some stuff here, I was realizing like, yeah, if we wanted to get really really close to the PS1, that's what we would have to do. But then we're getting into a situation where I'm like, maybe we're going a little too hard in the dedication to try to make it just like a PS1. Let's just focus on getting the vibe as close as we can. You know what I mean? But yeah, we'll work on this a little bit after. But in the meantime, I'm going to jump into the actual use. So let me get it set up here. Oh, I can tell you I have issues with it already in the 3 seconds I've used it. But I'm going to, just for fun of trying something new that the community's created, I'm using a new user interface mod for the minimal HUD. Not user, well, HUD mod. It says it does something else too, maybe, but I'm using it just for the minimal HUD right now. Minimal HUD for pronunciation purposes. It's winter here, so I'm a little congested. So we're going to try that out, but there's a design choice I'm going to mention when I first open it that I wish they changed a little bit, because I think based on what they're mentioning, I didn't never played Unreal growing up, so I'm not an Unreal person. I always wanted to, but by the time I finally got around to it, which is like a couple of years ago, I think I turned on Unreal. It's I don't know, didn't age as nicely as like Quake to me, so I didn't give it much of a chance. But I think it's basing it off of that. And I'm not personally familiar with the Unreal HUD. But he's kind of implementing a different HUD here. So I'll show it off a little bit, and I'll explain what I would have maybe liked. I'm actually going to open up just to show it off first before we get into the map itself. Sure, changes. Just gonna make sure this got switched.
Let's rock. Damn, those alien bastards are gonna pay for shooting up my ride.
Okay, we're good. So this is the minimal HUD by It's in the description of this video. Jan, I can't pronounce their last name. Unfortunately, I rather not butcher it at all. But the link is in the description of the video for that mod, as well as the user map we're going to be playing. This is not the user map, but so this is the minimal mod. So it still has the regular full HUD, but it changes the minimal, the 2 versions of this. So you can see all your ammo, you can see your health. I'm not a big fan of this version where it's just the little bar meter. So I'm going to try this, but on the right hand side it shows you all your ammo counts as well for all your weapons, and it will show us our weapons, items, and armor, which we were missing in the middle of the HUD. So what I so far do not like about the HUD is just the palette choice they're using, or the color scheme they went with. They went with this dark green. I think I have issues with it. It's just too dark. It blends in too much. I would have preferred if they used the actual original minimal HUD style and use that as a base for their art design. Again, maybe this is more Unreal-esque, but that's my complaint so far about it. I so far look at it and I'm like, I like the information they're adding. Would I do it slightly differently? Probably. But in terms of content, sure, for minimal HUD, it puts what I want there. I just would have liked a brighter palette choice, a more brownish gold, like these guys right here. You know? Anyways, just want to show that off. We're going to use that for this stream, see how we feel. Normally I'd show you README, but there's no real README for this user map. However, the map author does have a link in the in the video description for the map that we have. There's a link to his website, and it goes over a bunch of stuff about the maps, behind the scenes stuff, some lore. I didn't read it because I didn't want to spoil it. So really the only thing I know about this is we got some new music that he made for it, and this is giving me some Candyman vibes, the theme song. And it's inspired by, or takes some influence by memories by the guy who made the Dream series, Eddie. Yep. And it's more of a Metroidvania, where it's not as combat focused. It's about environmental storytelling, some lore, and maybe some puzzles. Which I really like. We played Duke Troid.
Get back to work, you slacker. Get back to work, you slacker.
Resting? Okay, that's a change. Enemy forces ID, alien entities. What's it saying before this? Oh, Duke Troid was a good one. I think it's by Bob. SP. Pretty sure he did that one, Duke Troid, which is I think is a really good use of the Duke items to show a different way of making a game and build. Again, I always find that stuff fun, where you take the build engine and do other things with it. Just as a fun, didn't know you could do that. That's fun, kind of way. Enemy forces ID alien entities have breached Earth's defenses, compromising the space shield. Hostile activities include inducing seismic disturbances and chemical contamination on various cities. Mission objective: retrieve classified documents from EDF Insurance Division HQ. These assets are crucial for future operations. Logistical support, equipment, and armaments will be teleported via secured terminals. Situational awareness. Enemy forces have commandeered mirror production facilities. Scattered mirror deployments reported, hindering operations. In the event of mission compromise, I think that's supposed to say compromise. All units initiate protocol 66. The one thing I will say is I don't think this has any con edits, if I recall. No, there's no con changes here. So we're doing all editor tricks. I like this little guy here. It's adorable. Oh. Oh, and we got some slightly different minimal HUD for this too. Okay, interesting. Blue key card. Man in yellow, he dead.
Hail to the king, baby.
Yellow is the happiest color, the color of deceit. My gift is to you, my curse. Now it's done. Is that you? Should I shoot him? Still has no ammo. Okay, yeah, so it's showing me the... What is that? What is that box? Yellow paint. Okay. I can't kill him. Well, can't destroy him. He's already dead. Wait a minute. Freeze thrower. Got a way up there.
Hail to the king.
Got a
baby.
chain gun. So because this had the Devastator, if I use the blue keycard here again, would it just give me a Devastator? I like how these little teleporters look. Okay, well, let's try our theory out. I didn't save my game. Should I save? Yellow. Let's try. Okay, no. So they're one-time use. One-time use. Could, like, jump on there. Nailed it. Best freezers in town.
Come get some.
Need this. Boots. I'll tell you what they're. Texture alignment there. Okay, we're gonna drink some water here, both in real life and in game, because I want full health for that atomic hell. I don't want to waste it. Went to the market. It's so cold today that not a lot of people were at the farmer's market, like the vendors, so I didn't have a full access to my goodies that I normally would have liked. So that's sad, but I did get my regular breakfast I got, and that was food. Avoid that. Game saved. I saw a blue key card. Is that a explosive dude right there? I don't know if that was a good thing. Or if maybe I did that too soon.
Come get some.
What? I wonder, is there something more I'm supposed to do here? It's so weird. That's some dedication to detail right there. That little rotating fan shadow change. That's weird that that's like that, so. Employees, as a token of appreciation for your hard work, a snack will be provided. Today's snack, mayo sacket. Oh, secret. Save, save. More fans. That little paw print logo. Jetpack. Down. Being a bitch. That. Okay. We gotta go down here. What?
Who wants some?
Get this ammo. bubble there. Okay. What do I want to do here? So we can jump across, fly there. That's the option. I want to go in. Oh.
Cool.
We're back. Back. Okay, I want to go up here still. I go open this. Okay, so I can see stuff there. Hello. We could jump across there and get up there. What do you give me? Shotgun? I'll take it. Okay, so once we use the yellow, we automatically get all the jetpack ones. Okay, that makes sense. Kind of sucked there. Okay, I see that readable. Think about it. I'm gonna pump up the visibility for me a little bit. Like 10%. It's a little harder for me to see. I installed a new eDuke, so I had some settings that I normally have on off. I'm sick of yellow. When this is done, the fake aliens would come and they'll take care of the rest. Okay, so I want to find these little notes. I see that, and that's in not toxic waste. There's an atomic health up there. Is that toxic waste? Oh. Okay, so I might want to come back here. Yeah, it gets a little dark. That's something I will say. We can't use those boots. Grab that. So I still need boots. I need some boots. Maybe what I'll do is this, actually. It's color correction. It's a little too bright, maybe? So why can't I use these? Oh, there we go. So now I have access to... Here? I'm going to save here because there's a little crack here. Not sure if that was the thing. Oh, Jesus. Oh, that's strong. That is strong. Okay, let's go here. Insurance conditions. Exclusions from coverage. Notwithstanding any other provision of this policy, we do not provide insurance coverage for damage or losses caused by or resulting from earthquakes or seismic activity, invasion or attacks by extraterrestrial beings, spills or releases of corrosive substances, including but not limited to acid, obstructions or hazards caused by mirrors or other reflective surfaces in pathways or walkways. This exclusion applies of any other cause or event contributing to the damage or loss. What are you trying to say, game?
Come get some.
Nice. Secrets. It's a cool little fax machine. This little... I don't know what that is. I don't know what this is.
Where is it? Come get some.
Delay, denied, oppose, or maybe, just maybe, read your insurance policy conditions. We lost communication with central headquarters. Whoever they send here needs to retrieve these docs to the FHQ immediately. They are encrypted, so you won't be able to read them. Well, if I put night vision, I could see what it was. That'd be a nice little touch. Hello, JC. I like... Is it going to still be messed up if I go around? Oh, it's gone now. Oh, shit. Well, let's get some health. Let's have some water. How about that? Let's have a little beverage, a little drink. I need scuba. I need scuba. I like how the armor for this HUD is just like a little piece of scrap metal. Strange that they didn't use the actual armor icon. Interesting little choices. Yeah. This is Metroidvania. What happens if you waste your items? They seem to spawn more in key places. So they seemed basically, it seems like once you use one of these for like boots, for example, all the ones that are labeled boots give you boots. You're right. I guess theoretically you could eventually waste them, but it's so far. I've seen quite a few places for each. So, like for jetpack, for example, if you're just standing there wasting your jetpack, and then you waste the next jetpack, it doesn't seem like there's a ton of places you really need to fly jetpack-wise. Like this. So that would be a fault of the player, you know? You can only do so much in the world. Yeah. You gotta... Gonna be something up here, right?
Come get some.
But so far, it seems like we got a pretty good assortment. I hope. Oh my god, alien invasion, it's happening. That weird dude in yellow wasn't totally nuts after all. He was right. Justice secret room is my only hope. He's always warning me away. Says it's not safe, but what could be worse than this? Can't let them catch me, no time to think, gotta hide. Justice & Co. Mirror Manufacturing. Latest review, Miko Sant. It's a nice factory with decent level of detail. They even organize guided educational excursions. However, the mirrors are broken. They just work if you view them from certain angles, and some mirrors don't even work at all. Conclusion, Justice & Co. is an interesting place to visit, but if you want a mirror, you better head to the local Home Depot.
Come on.
Do you want me to shoot her? Do yourself a favor and get a mirror. That mirror grievance then pointed at me. So the reflection can mirror freedom. Okay. Collector, sci-fi and fantasy mirrors. This was a secret place? It's a magic mirror in the wall, not mirror in the wall. Beyond the veil near Aldebaran, lies the Archon unspoken by the scribes. Draped in yellow, Hastur, the king, lingers in Carcosa, whispering truths that scatter the mind not as rebellion, but as art. What's up? That's a cool little visual. I like that. I like these pillars. Very fun. Okay, what about you? There's a little crack in the wall. Shows the most desperate desires of a person's heart, a vision that has been known to drive man mad. Ah, the end level, a shrinker. I see that shrinker. Yeah, I want that. What's that? Infamous Black Mirror from Black Mirror. Wait a second. There is no Black Mirror. Black Mirror. Total scam. That was fun. I want that. Give me that. Huh. This thing is messing with me. I don't know what's happening there. You know, it's weird. Something's happening there. Got a blue key card though, so we can go get a blue key card somewhere. Or use a blue door. I don't know where we left one unattended. I didn't save, and I was like, I'm kind of stuck in a position where I don't want to save, and oh, that's okay. That's okay. We can do this real quick. We can do this real quick, right? So I'm not going to use the red key that we got for down here, since we know that's kind of pointless. Oh, we got health right here, so save right there. We're going to instead use it in here to get in this building. Oh, did we get these secrets too? Now that I'm thinking about it. Not. Hey, 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 hey. Did you come from one of here? That would be cool. I think we still have to go through this as well, do we? No, we already did that. Got that, got that, got that. Save this. Go across here. This. do these mirror secrets.
Groovy.
Night vision goggles. That'll be useful. I'm gonna go on this one first. Love that jetpack. That'd be nice. Oh. What is... There. Okay, so now we got this though. I've been studying the ancient art of cadoptromacy, which uses mirrors to divine the future. The old text break of magicians ensnaring familiars like the one in my collection, or demons like the so-called Floron within mirrors to harness the powers quite intriguing.
Come get some.
I drew a line for you, or what a thing to do, and it was all yellow. This guy loves yellow. Okay, so you want a jetpack down here? That was you. You did that to yourself. You asked for it. Is he in there? Oh, there's... Oh, that's cool. The little pillars broke. That's a nice little touch. I like this. I invited Mr. Calvin, yeah, that guy's name, to our factory several months ago, seeking his skilled brush strokes to revitalize certain areas. That last evening before his departure, I showcased my collection of mirrors with him, expecting him to be taken aback by one piece in particular. Curiously, he displayed no surprise whatsoever. It was as if the mirror of Arised, that fabled glass revealing one's deepest desires, merely reaffirmed something he already knew. Regarding the Black Mirror, he astutely observed that the show's quality had declined since Netflix acquired the brand. Season after season, I concurred with his assessment. I've never really seen Black Mirror. Despite Calvin's peculiar affinity for the color yellow, and contrary to whispers suggesting otherwise, I found him to be remarkably lucid. Indeed, his rationality surpassed that of many others, perhaps even my own. Got some strange friends. That was uncalled for. Uh-huh. I don't want to tackle.
Piece of cake.
Okay. Alright, sure, why not? Let's, you know, do that. So they said jetpack. You just get right on by. The other 6 archons will only let me return to blah, 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 if I can recite the secret formulas after my death. One mistake and I'll be forever trapped into this wretched prison. Yelber, the monstrous pretender, you are not my god. I refuse to worship the king who condemns me to suffering. How do you sign everything? It's very nice of you. What does this give me? A shrinker. That's just what I always wanted for Christmas. And I'll take it because it's a good weapon to have. It's overpowered. Take out bosses in one hit. Let's see, is there anything down here? Death. There's death down there, so we're gonna do it. We didn't have to, but we did. Would like some health. Look at these. Look at these little guys. Adorable. Doing that. Oh, you're doing the stacked sprites to give it the width, so you're just stacking a ton of these. Okay, it said shoot. I still don't get what it really wants me to do here. That doesn't reflect. That doesn't reflect. That does reflect. Okay, we did it. Fun sprite choices here. Must miss this little bit of lore. Confidential psychiatric evaluation, Dr. David Munchie, psychiatrist. Patient Galbin, that man. Confidential. Hallucinations. Fake aliens allegedly coming to annihilate humanity. Identify as the Yellow Painter. As the malevolent
What are you waiting for?
entity.
Christmas?
Haster, that guy's name. Servant. Clinical observation. Hallucinations driven by grandiosity, persecution, and control desires, escapes into a delusional world, coping with feelings of powerless and humanity. The brain doctor
What are you
from
waiting
Soma,
for? Christmas?
the one that lives in Toronto, that put dear old Simon in a robot body in the future. That is a nice little Easter egg. Additional symptoms: disorganized thinking, speech, ideas of reference, painting job, manipulated, suspicious paranoia, treatment. Do not mix with alcohol. He's mixing with alcohol. I saw alcohol somewhere. Pretty much all of it is lost on me in this one. Managed to avoid. I made it, boys. See that thing up there? It's got some interesting ideas for it. I like the lore is like it's Lauren. I'm not saying it's landing quite yet, but I also, since this is a secret, I have no idea. Do I have to go through there as a shrunken little boy? Like right now, I'm dead. But like, this is a secret,
Hail to the king.
and it doesn't feel. Like a lot's happening, so. Oh, I had a med kit. I didn't know that.
Come get some. That's got
That's not what I wanted. Doing good now. I lied. A little dark. A little dark. Can't really see where I'm going. In Potter, yellow is the color of Hufflepuff, probably the second worst house. This is all the map author taking out their rage against Hufflepuff. That's what it is. Okay, we're gonna go Up here. The shrink says I'm losing it, but I know the truth. Those meds he's prescribed are barely holding me together. They're numbing my mind, so I ditched them. Hasta revealed to me the harsh reality. This life is just a nightmare created by you, but this weird name and an evil, all-powerful other dude. I've got, though, one last task to do, and then I'm out of this yellow painting duty. It's sickening. I can't take it
What are you
anymore.
waiting for? Christmas?
See, there's still a thing over there that I feel like is a thing I'm supposed to do. Maybe like a secret, because it looks so strange. All the down and up tags. The King in Yellow. Neat little book. And one more secret. Doing pretty good, actually. Oh, I need scuba. Still don't have scuba. I don't know if I can make it. Oh, there's a yellow keycard right there that I somehow missed. That would explain why I don't have scuba. Okay. Going here, going here. I thought I saw it, but I thought I grabbed it, and that was something else. Okay, we got another blue key card. So we got more key cards that I don't know what I'm going to use a blue one for. That was how I was supposed to proceed, is through that? That seems so strange. Okay, I got some scuba. So that's the end of the level. Just think if there's maybe something I'm missing with this. Because I got an extra blue keycard, and I'm not sure what it would have been used for. I guess it doesn't really matter, but I didn't really go much in here. That's what I would like to do, is I want to go in here. It's my fault. It's my fault. I just want to check out that one area. And then we'll probably be done. Just for this. But, give you my thoughts. But, I like again, I like Metroidvanias. So I like that as a concept. I don't know if I felt so Metroidvania-y as much as I thought it would. Mainly because it is kind of a small working area, so it's not like I really felt like I was lost or needed this specific power-up to proceed. I guess I did, but... really hard to interact with. Witnessing this served, I was his sign painter, I was his cartographer, mapping illusions to keep humanity lost, not anymore. Metroidvania-like maps would fit on a space station like System Shock. It does work because like it makes sense why you're closing off the environment so much. So it feels like more natural. Be like, oh, you need a special key card here. Blah blah blah. Oh, so you do technically have multiple ways of doing this, it seems. Okay, so this is how I would normally have gotten in here. That makes sense. Okay. I was wondering what that would be. You can jump while shrunk? Oh. Now I don't remember how I got into... So I missed one secret. I wonder where it was. Maybe I'll no clip. In clip, let's do clipping off. I'll just explore around here. I did this. I got all this. Oh, is this? Is this? Okay, so I just would have had to blown this up. That's really hard to see. I would never have seen that. Anything else that was cool? I guess since we're here. Weird. No. That was it. That was an interesting idea. I would have, yeah, I'd like to see more. You know, he said this is a series. I want to see what kind of, where we're going. I like that weird creature thing, too. I don't know how he really did this. That weird thing up here. Not here, but... this here, I think. No. I'm trying to see if I can get to it, but I don't know if I can. Like, he had this weird creature in here. I don't know how he did that. That was cool. Solid. Solid. Okay. Let me grab a little snack here for 2 seconds. I'll be right back. I have the key. Hi, everybody. Oh, my gee. Realized it's just a black screen for you guys? Well, that's no fun. That's no fun at all. Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me? I wasn't here, so I couldn't listen. But I was. All right, everybody. So let's get the little keyboard on. So for those following at home, if you were wondering what keys I'm pressing, you can see that. Doesn't mean I always know what I'm pressing, though. I have no idea what I'm doing half the time in this editor. I just pretend I do, and sometimes it works. Literally, there are some things we've just been working on in this map that I can't explain where it came from. It just started working. Okay, it just started working on us. And that's unexplainable. That's unexplainable. So, just pointing that out. This is not my editor. One second. This one, this one. I'm still daunted about this police car after rebuild. Even though I feel like it won't be that bad. With that. Okay. Okay, so let's go over here. Make sure my okay, selection's on. Back to this. Doing a little shading here. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. I'm thinking just a little circle here. I'm simplified for this one. Let's try this as just a preview. Yeah, I'm happy with this. I'll do that for this one. Turn locking off so I can insert a point. Locking back on so I can attach that point. Oops. Locking it off. Here. Oops. Okay. Just seeing how bright I want this. Okay. Checks the height gap. To be like, oh, that there's a there's a gap, so hey, now it's working. But it's like I didn't even get to the part where I really assigned it to that section, so that's what threw me off so much too. I think this really makes a difference. Excuse me. Actually, no, sorry. We want to do F7. I want to change this to 0. 7 this to 0. F7. 0. 7. F7. 5. Okay. I want to fix this because I'm pretty sure I can. Just gonna put a lip on this. Shoot, that's not gonna work. What my thought process is, if I do this. And just make the outside border like Then I can go in here. And it worked. Nice. Nice. That's what I wanted. I just wanted that like weird spotlight effect to be going so the ceiling was matching up. Just had to change this so in theory like it'll get a little darker here. Won't see it. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty happy with this. Gonna add a little flourish here, maybe. And what do I want? How do you make those yellow windows? They're just these. So I'm using that. I flipped it to match the time to kill thing that we're doing, and they had these weird little yellow lights, and this broke again. God damn it. Oh, I hate that. Oh, God. It keeps erasing my like little yellow guys. And I flatten these guys, make them transparent. Just give me a second. I gotta crack open the game. What am I doing? What am I doing? Doing PlayStation, Duck Station. I keep forgetting. I have to do. I have to do this 1,000 times. Controllers. Okay. So we got So this one is off. You do this. Some yellow windows, palette swap, make these guys transparent, flip this. Move them about 1 unit away in front of the wall. I could, but I don't. It only happens when I'm messing with the geometry. Otherwise, it's there. So my thought process is when I'm done working in this area, it won't happen again. And hello, toilet duck. Okay, cool. That's what we want. We want the lighting there. That's cool. I gotta fix some stuff. No, that's fine. I want to. I think. Who thinks they're in the wrong sector? It's because I was moving so much stuff around. Because it's like on addition, you have all of this stuff down here that I just moved back. So I'm assuming what happened was when I moved all of this bottom sector back, everything just kind of got messed up. That's what I'm assuming and blaming happening. But anyways, I want to do this. And I want to... I don't know if I want to use this one, though. We'll see. We'll see. Don't hate it. Don't hate it. For something like that, though, I want something with a little less of that white. Then let's do this. All right, let's figure out how the secret's gonna be here. In the right sector, except in the sector over sector situation, but this doesn't look like one of those. Shift tab on the sprites to see what sector they're in. Shift tab. Oh, so you can get like data analysis. I haven't bothered to look at that stuff yet either. So what I want to do is go on here. Okay. Happy with that. Let's save that. Let's fix some changes. Let's go on here. Now, in the original, let's zoom out this a little bit just so we can see it a little bit better. Sorry, I don't have my key. I'm not using my controller right now, so I don't actually remember which button is grab. There we go. Okay. Ma'am, I can't see. It's too dark in here. So can you... Talk to her. Duke. Duke. Talk to her. Duke. Duke. Huh? This one? This one? Second, I'm just gonna pull up my map. The use button. Is K. Is that not what I was using? I can't. Okay. I didn't want to have to do that, but There we go. That's what I wanted. I wanted the lights on. I just wanted the lights on. Okay, so we're in here. 2D mode. We want to do. It's like 2. Shrink this down. Fly, Duke. Fly. This. Reset this. Oops. Spacing. I'm just trying to. What I'm doing right now is I want the window to be kind of eye line with the player, and that's gonna mess some of the outside stuff when we do that. I think right here is the best we're gonna get. So I'm gonna go with that. I went into a room with the building texture. It was a pain to do. Yeah, yeah, I can imagine this being pain. Like, I don't want to do it. In the long run, I'm gonna thank myself, I feel. Feeling these are gonna be like, yeah. Yeah, maybe that over there. Yes. That is 381. So we'll do the same thing here. This, delete this. 3D4. And then textured this wall to fit the window part of the texture into the frame. Then I aligned the rest of the building to that window. I can get behind that. Supposedly there's like a real easy way to do, or easier, like the O. God damn. Hehe. And then we could put like a little, I'm thinking we can cheat a little bit, because I feel like there's a texture that's just kind of like two little things here. So make sure everything else is, that's nice, that's working. What's it look like on the inside? Let's take a look. Broken, but looking out here, and we can go out the window. Don't know if I want to do that. I might block it. Deal with that later. In the meantime, let's build a light. Might be a little too much. I'll see. Yeah, a little too much. I just want it to be like a little subtle nod. A little subtle nod. It's too subtle. A little bit darker. A lot back and forth, I know. Over here, change that to 5. 7. 5. So even if the player doesn't notice it specifically, they might at least notice the color change. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. Yeah. All the lighting here is doing good. These got messed up, the textures a little bit. I gotta fix the lighting on this. Like, this is fine, but I mean, I have to do the same thing on these sides. 1766. If I could get. Nice. Just trying to cover up some of this stuff a little bit. Part of it is this too, actually. Let's do this. Just checking on the status of something for time-wise. Because unfortunately I have to head out somewhere today, so knew I wouldn't be able to stream as long. But I didn't want to start anything big project wise. So just some ironing out of these areas here, which we totally got done. More refinement of some of the lighting. Got that little addition here so we can actually see in. I really like that. It's subtle, nice. Lighting here so you can also see it, maybe even if it's maybe too subtle, maybe that's a little too subtle, but I don't care. I think it's fine. Pig cops be piggin'. And then I'll add some light strips here, like some fluorescent lights, so it makes sense. Gotta fix this too.
On my face. Pretty done.
Okay. That gives me some time then. Alright, so I'll work on. We'll get a little bit of this room done. So let's do that. Start ironing out this little area. Alright, so in here, got a little bookcase going on. Let's go in here. We have this weird, ugly looking thing we made. A sofa. Oh, excuse me. Oh my god. I obviously could just copy and paste the one that we have in the strip club, but I think I'm going to redo it. It's a little big. So we're probably going to redo that. The nightstand, though, we do have. So let's just copy that one we already made. Wait, what? What are you doing there? You don't belong there. Yeah. Hi, Kiki, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Kiki? Loris. Aren't you Kiki? What? You know. Yeah, it's got a little guest star monster. There's places where she shouldn't be.
continue. Six. Oh, Jesus. Fix these up a little bit. Oh my god. Actually, you know what? I might start because coffee. I'm gonna make a coffee. Something of that nature. Just to prepare for this journey I'm about to take, so I'll end it a little earlier. I'm gonna keep working on this when I get home, probably, maybe, most likely. And I'll post an update video most likely tomorrow. Unless I end up streaming tomorrow, some map outing, but I'll probably get personal. All in all, not a ton of progress, just some more refinements. This is stuff that unfortunately I kind of take a little long time on because it's not as fun as like a brand new section or anything. It's more tedious for a lot of the stuff to get it the way I want it to be, lighting-wise, and I'm not fast at it, especially kind of checking this. But I checked off some boxes. I got that weird spotlight effect that we had, and that's nice that that's gone. We got all this fixed up. This is now, so this shouldn't break anymore. We did get this lined up now, so now we don't at least have to worry about the outside. And now we just have to focus on the inside scale stuff. And then we'll have to make another one of these, paste that right here. Probably do that right now. You know what, let's just... Let me do that real quick. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
How much work? It's surprisingly, you know what? Not a. Well, I shouldn't say not a ton. That's a lie. So here I'll kind of show you real quick some of the next levels. So if you've never seen it before, I'm not gonna play well, mind you. But this is kind of how Time to Kill goes. At least this next little section, because there's a lot more. There's a bunch of underwater bits. So basically, you have this outside. We're almost done this section at least, other than maybe some detailing and stuff like that. But hey, actually, while we're here, you can see what I mean by like the lighting just kind of comes from nowhere a lot of the ways. Like there's nothing over here for lights. Okay, this stuff's all messed up, so we'll fix that too. But once you go into here and you activate the subway, which did we do already? No. So we'll do that real quick. Get up. Get up, Duke. So we'll activate the subway. So now that's gone. So we're at this section right now in terms of where we're at in the game. And then you go in this section here. Oh, I didn't know we had to blow these up. Blow this up. That lets you come in here. I think adding light fixtures is probably fine. Yeah, and that's what I'm gonna do. So like and there's some of them that like right here, for example, they do kind of have light sources coming from lights. So they do use them, but then they also don't use them. So it's just so strange, like where they choose to. So where it doesn't make sense, where there's just light coming from nowhere, we're gonna add some stuff. I don't mind doing that. That's okay by me. So we're gonna go in here. Now, this is where in my mind I was like, yeah, and then the map's over. It's not. Oh my god, I'm getting stuffed. So you have this room here, which you need. Do I need a key card to get in here? Yeah, I do. So, and this is the teleporter room. So this is the end of the level in this room. It's like a warp crystal. So what you have to do is you have to gather 3 crystals in this level at various parts, and then bring the crystals back to activate this time machine, and then that lets you leap back into time. And then the rest of this is a sewer level. So this is where the platforming really comes into play. And then there's some dark portions where you need the night vision goggles. So like we're probably maybe actually 50% into it. I think this stuff will be a lot easier though, because it's a lot of just sewer corridors. So once we have one corridor, which we already do have one, it's just maybe some of them are spruced up. And then the platforming bits, I think, are going to be a little bit more complicated. And remembering these lovely monster closets. Because then it's just swapping some textures around for this. And then we get stuff like this. You get the crate room. So just a bunch of puzzle stuff. This stuff can blow up too. Sometimes there's goodies inside. So, I don't know. Like maybe 50% we're done. Exit without saving. Is my thought process. I think we're around 50% in. Is what I'm thinking. No? Maybe. Who knows? And then after that, I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to think about what the next thing might be. I've bounced around some ideas where it was like, maybe we do a little bit of a revision of this same map, just like adding some details. Probably not going to do that because I'll probably be so tired of this specific map by then. I don't think we're going to move on to like the next episode level of Time to Kill, because the only reason I even decided to do this was because in my replaying of the level in my head, I just thought this was going to be relatively easy to build. Geometry wise, yes, it is, but then there's some stuff that I realized trying to figure out how you're going to make it look like the original without using those textures and using just the stock assets. I spent a lot of time doing weird work trying to make that work, so that took a lot more time than I anticipated. And I've never been really good at the lighting part, like shading and all that, so I'm kind of using this as a crash course to do that. There's some other funky stuff we're getting into, but and then the next level is like, it's a Wild West, and I don't think it's going to be as easy to pull off that level using the stock assets in my mind, so I might not be doing that. Right, like, what about the mall map? So that's the idea. Is so the reason I took a break from the mall map or my diner map was is like I'm very good at, if I have a core idea of like a visual. Let me open it up so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So for people not familiar with the other maps we tried making, we did this. So this is the mall map, and my goal was to do this like mall you would go on an adventure on, and I had these like ideas of like this big Bass Pro Shop kind of area where you'd go dive in and get a key card from this underwater place, and I was playing around with different ways to do it. So like, for example, here's a true room over room version, so you can go underwater and see everything. And then we had the mall itself, like here's like the entrance, and to get into the mall you'd have to break into this water portion, go underneath, and you'd break into the water feature that's in the main part here. The problem is I started to run out of oh yeah, you can't see it, I have to hit transition. So like, here's my little Bass Pro, so I'll start again for you people at home. Actually, let me get rid of the keyboard because you don't need that. Mall Max is it's because like malls offer a great way of making individual areas, but then you realize, oh no, what are you going to do in all those areas? Like, so from a gameplay perspective, unless you're cutting off large portions of the mall, which is what I was running into, was like I'd have to start cutting off portions of this mall to guide the player and force them through. And that's where I was like, you know what? That's the problem I'm having, is from a gameplay perspective, I'm not very good at flow, like figuring out from point A to point B where the player is going to go, because I don't really have like a clear vision of the journey the player is going. It's more like, hey, let's make a cool water feature. Hey, let's make a cool escalator. So I'm taking ideas of cool things that could be in malls, and then I'm trying to figure out how they would stick together, and sometimes they're not. So I just needed a little break of some sort. So I started playing around with some of the concepts, and we did expand upon it. And I think if we keep working on this, so I'm not abandoning this by any means. I just think there's some stuff I wasn't good at doing, and I needed to revisit it. So we started working on this, and we did like a whole bunch of versions of things. Like there's these weird little tests where I just didn't know what I was doing at the time. So here's the Tror version of this water, because I wanted you to be able to see into the water and then also go into it. So we had to do Tror here. And I had this idea where Duke was going to get shrunk in a toy store. And so he would be going through little tiny recreations
like miniature, not sets, but like miniature play sets of some Duke Nukem maps. I think that's a cool idea. I think it's just too much for inside the mall, because then I wanted, what I was going to do is this was going to be like a tentacle of an octobrain that would fling in, and you'd fight a giant octobrain in a way as like a miniature boss battle. And so you'd have this like as a subway line going in, and I had it as a trooper that would shoot you, and so there'd be a giant beam. Just overly ambitious, and I didn't know how to do it, right? How I thought I could do it, not the case. So I just needed to take a step back and kind of go back into the roots. So like even this is just me just mapping out, this is where the player would go and all this, and it's just a recreation of this. And I wanted the player to go up into this thing, and this would blow up and be destroyed. Again, like cool little ideas, but it just doesn't gel together. And then the same thing kind of happened with, I don't want to actually, like, I actually had maybe a better idea of this. There's this map called Sea Breeze, where I wanted to do like a little island as an homage to Billy Boy's Lighthouse, because that's like one of, I don't want to say one of my favorite maps, user maps, because it's so weird, but it's one of the user maps that really made me go whoa, because of the verticality there, and it really made me feel like I was going on a true journey to try to get up this lighthouse. And that was done with the old mapping limitations, so I just always wondered what could we do now with new ones. But one of the difficulties I was having is outdoor environments are very hard to map for. Like, it's very hard to make natural looking outdoor environments using stock assets. So I started to kind of just run into some walls there, where I was making some cool, again, just general ideas. Like I wanted this whole cliff face where you'd be able to like maybe walk under. So Duke would start on a ship, he would get blown up, and he would kind of, just like Billy Boy's Lighthouse, where you go in this stream that takes you into the island. That would happen here, and you'd end up on the beach, and you'd see little miniature vistas of the lighthouse in the distance, and you'd want to get there. And each time you'd pass into a new section, it would get bigger and bigger and bigger. But at the end of the day, I wanted it's kind of the reason I originally started doing this is I didn't understand Tror, so true room over room, enough, and I just assumed I could Tror everything if I could just make it connect. And I guess you kind of could, but it would probably suck for performance. So I really wanted it so that if you could go to the very, 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 very top of the lighthouse, you could jump off and land at the very bottom, and it would feel like you're falling for a while. I still want to do something like that, but I think I'd have to do it in a different way. I'd have to do it in a different fashion, and then the same thing happens for my diner map. Oh, and then we have this, where this wasn't meant to be anything. This was just my first attempt at trying to build stuff. So that's where I built the octobrain. I've shown this off once or twice. And then I was actually trying to build like a 3D octobrain out of sectors just to know how to do stuff. I'm still really proud of this, though. I really like this. Even though it's probably built horribly if you actually look at how it was built, but it worked. So this was an idea where I was taking old screenshots of Duke Nukem Forever, and I was just trying to recreate certain images that I was seeing in that. But again, I didn't have an idea of the level that we were going to do. There's no idea here of a level. And that might be just me, right? So that might be me just... Maybe I'm better at building stuff, but not probably better at designing the actual level itself. You know, I can build things if I have a clear vision of it, or maybe if somebody gave me an idea, but maybe I'm not the best at figuring out what you do level yet. I'll get better, because it's kind of weird. I can recognize it when I'm playing levels, but so far I haven't gotten to the stage where I'm
like where I'm pretty good at figuring out point A to point B what I want to do. So maybe it takes so long, man. Cars take so long. So far, this was my first car. This is nothing special because this is just like using already existing assets, so there's nothing to write home about there. Though I do like my little thing there. After area. I think that's one of the reasons why Lunar Apocalypse never hit for me when I was growing up, is because I felt that, though. I felt that every area didn't feel like it was really connecting together, especially when you go into the things that send you off into space and you're like flying between like the subway systems. A lot of like, I really like a lot of the ideas in Lunar Apocalypse, but I wish it was more coherent from maybe like a in-universe plot perspective. And maybe that's just an issue I have where I need to give that up, and that's part of my problem, right? Anyone wants some cool cars, I can build you some cool cars. I don't think it's ever going to be necessary to ever use anything like this, but do that. That's pretty much all the stuff I've been building, or have built. A lot of abandoned ideas. So the time to kill one, I'm not abandoning, I'm just continuing it on, because I thought it would be the easiest. And there is a lot of stuff that was, but then you're right. There's a lot of stuff that, because I'm recreating it, I'm being so nitpicky, it's not as easy. And that's the sad part. Is like I do like when I build stuff and I'm like, that looks cool, but again, I just never have really any solid ideas, just some vague ones of what you would do in those places. I'm kind of just building for the sake of building, and I'm trying to change that a little bit. I'm trying to get to a point where these things we're building have a purpose and the player can do things in them, and there's progression. That's the hurdle I'm currently trying to tackle. And I'll get there. It's just taking me a little longer than anticipated. And some of the stuff is like, I just didn't know how to do. Like, I really wanted a train track going through here, because this is like it was going to be a Tror test, where this was going to be Tror streets up top, so you could go on top of all the buildings. Why? Just wanted to build it because I could. Oh, no. That's what we've been doing. We're thinking, my buddy came over earlier and got him to play through both my incomplete Dude Trek maps. It was great watching him. Almost every detail. I do know that was I think it was what's the channel? I mentioned this, I think, a stream or two ago. There's a channel that looks at, like, do the light poles in GTA connect to anything, and does it make sense from, like, or observing details that most people will miss in a level. I totally understand why players will miss a ton of those details, but I just think having those details just helps. It helps. It's background noise, but it makes it feel more true. I don't know. But then there's some people who play it like I love to explore. But then there's some like that WG's that one church. I really love that ceiling. So it's like, I like it. I think they if you do it right, you can have that sense of awe and impression when you walk into a room. But I like in that last map we played, the mirror yellow one, right? I really like that weird revolving fan. Just that having that revolving fan with that shadow that was tilting on the wall. A nice little detail. Again, majority of people playing that will probably never notice it unless you actually understand what's going on there and you're like, that's cool. That's clever. Like it's just I like the details, but I like the sense of exploration. So it's tough because, like, do you need to put so much detail and work in every section of the map? Because you're right, most players, like 90%, will just blast through that, not paying attention. It's just surface level. But I also think that and that's kind of why I like when maps do encourage exploration. So even if it's not always done in the best way, I've always loved maps like Ledsborn had that a submachine map where he has that whole secret side mission to activate a weapon and do something big. I like that because it encourages you to one explore, and then you're rewarded for exploring by getting more details, more everything. So yeah, hopefully it's just doesn't become an echo chamber. The purpose, the whole goal is one to make sure I don't give up myself, because I'm the type of individual that my ADHD brain, how it works is, if it's not perfect right away, throw it out, done. I don't want it. And the problem is, you can't be perfect right away. That's impossible. You have to practice makes perfect. But my brain, it has so much trouble doing the practice part. So this whole channel is really just an undertaking for me to really just push myself in terms of not giving up and forcing myself to continue on, even though if I've technically given up on some maps we've been working on. The idea is I haven't given up on the whole project as a whole, and it slowly I'm understanding things better and getting better, and I get why you shouldn't give up. So, and hopefully other people will kind of join in and start building on their own, or asking questions, or starting to see things that they didn't notice when they're playing games that are like this because of stuff like this, and then maybe that gets their mind going. Because when you're playing through some of this stuff and you're like, how do they do that? Right? It's just cool. Like I don't actually know how they did this in the yellow. There, the Harry Potter mirror that shows you your desires. I'm not quite sure how you did that. How he had it so it's like it's reflecting stuff, but not. I thought it would be a fake double room, but when you do the show map, it didn't show there was another room behind it. I could just open up in the editor, but I'm not going to do that right now. But also, I just like the aesthetic of build games, so I just want more of it. So if I can convince anybody that might be better than I can build stuff to make stuff, so I can play more, even better. Anyways, that was my little tangent. That was my little rant. Shorter stream today, less of a plan because I didn't want to have a huge intricate idea of what I was going to work on mapping wise, because I knew I might have to just up and dip today. So at the very least, maybe I'll be on tomorrow, but next week for sure is going to be a regular longer stream. I already know what we're going to be playing. So we're going to be playing CK3D's new map. He has was it the Computer Wars, but he also mentioned it was based on an old shovelware or old release. I've never played the original, so we're going to play the original and his version of that map, and then and see how they compare and what he changed, because I'm assuming it's a lot. And I have no familiarity with the original. So we're going to do that next week. And then I'll think about, depending on how much progress I get done, either tonight or tomorrow on the map that we're working on, we might jump into a new area. Because one of the downsides of doing the shading stuff is it's a lot of tiny little details. So it's a lot of me squinting at an editor and then pressing F7 and typing in some numbers. Probably not the most exciting thing to always watch. I get it. It doesn't always have to be. But when we get to building a new area, it's a lot faster for me to progress, because I can just pull things apart, start seeing how things fit together, and things go a little bit faster, I find. Or at least you see more visual progress in those ones. So maybe we'll work on a new area. Maybe. We'll see. Anyways, yeah, everybody. Have a good weekend.